Greetings, everyone. I'm so glad that you're tuning in, watching, and listening to the latest episode, or an episode of Waxing with Wade. This is going to be episode number 86. It's been 3 weeks, I know, since my last episode, and I'm trying to get more of a pace of every 2 weeks. But maybe I'll make up some ground soon. Today, I'm featuring a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame classic American/British band, and their debut album, which was really phenomenal, is Crosby, Stills, and Nash from 1969. Hopefully I'm holding that in a good way for you to see. Here at back, it's a gatefold. You know, you get like a wide picture here on the back. And you have a great picture on the front. I'm sorry, not on the front, but of the inside of the three of them. David Crosby, Stephen Stills, Graham Nash. I'd know any of them if they walked up to me, that's for sure. I don't know if you would. Let me tell you some things about Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and then tell you some, well, first, let me just say, before I get into them and this album, just talking about album packaging, and this is a great one, you know, with that great interior shot. I love it. But I want to spotlight that this is my bargain of bargains. I got this for either free or $1 in like a scrap bin at somewhere. And the reason I got it so cheap is the record had no sleeve. It was just shoved in here in the cardboard. Looked a little bit surface scratchy, not a whole lot, but a little bit. But more importantly, the cover has, from the original cellophane, they've cut out or taken off the sticker from the front. This obviously isn't a first year pressing because it already says gold record on it. It's probably from the early 70s, based on the look of it and the feel of the cardboard. But not only that, they took off the sticker from the other sticker that lists the songs and the times and stuck it right there. Of course, I'm glad they didn't stick it across one of them's face, but anyway, it's kind of kitschy and cool, but I'd rather have a nicer album for sure. But I got it for basically nothing. Also, if I hold it up closer, you'll see they've written in ink a goatee on Graham Nash and like eyeliner on Stephen Stills, and quite hilarious. Now you can't see that as much from a distance, but anyway, yeah, I'd love to have a nicer copy. However, the dichotomy, or whatever paradox here, is that this is one of the worst covers I got free. You know, well, I've got a couple others pretty much this bad in other ways, but this is the best record of all of those. And I've got some decent records in some of these free records, definitely playable. This is more than playable. This is better than half the records in my collection. A few pops and all from the age, but not a whole lot, and no skips to speak of. So, all right, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, the first supergroup, kind of, or one of the first, excuse me. You know, I don't know very first, but you know, very early supergroup, because Stephen Stills, an American, born in Texas, raised in Florida, briefly played with Don Felder, future Eagles guitarist, in bands in the early 60s, and went to LSU, but dropped out of school. David Crosby had formed Buffalo Springfield. Start over. Stephen Stills. Did I say David Crosby? They're both American. David Crosby's from LA. He's a singer and he plays guitar, but he's mainly known as a singer. Beautiful voice. Stephen Stills is like the musical driving force in this band, and he also was in Buffalo Springfield, which he started in 1966, I think, or that was their first album, and had the iconic songs like For What It's Worth. You know the song, Hey Children, What's That Sound? Everybody knows what's going down. Everyone knows that song. The iconic, in every 60s documentary song. I would say one of the greatest songs of the century, counting how good the song is and its social impact and how long it's endured. And others. I think there's another giant great hit by Buffalo Springfield I'm not thinking of at the moment. But Neil Young was in that band, Richie Furay, later of the Byrds. But Graham Nash had been with the Hollies. He had not been with them when they had their biggest hit, or one of their biggest hits, A Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. But he was with them on some of their earliest albums. He was one of the founders of the Hollies, a British pop rock band. And when he wanted to make it a little more rock and the rest of the band wanted to make it a little more pop, he left the Hollies and came to America and met up with David Crosby and Stephen Stills in LA. And as I mentioned, Stephen Stills went to LSU briefly, dropped out, found his way to LA. David Crosby was from LA. That's how they came together, but they were all part of previous bands. David Crosby, the Byrds, I think. Anyway, kind of the first supergroup. And out of the chute, man, what a classic album here with classic songs. You're about to hear some of them. Wow, like 4 or 5 of them. They were at Woodstock, as were quite a few artists I've had on here featured, but I don't think I mentioned it every time. But yes, they definitely played at Woodstock. And I hope they did. I'm not misremembering that. Anyway, I want to mention this, which is a little bit, just so you'll know, like, for those of you that don't know, they are not a guitar player, a bass player, and a drummer. They don't even have a drummer. They use session drummers for their albums. So they're not ZZ Top, they're not Rush, they're not even Triumph or the Police. Triumph. But in that setup, just a guitar, Rush, let's say Rush, guitar, bass, and drums. But so you session drummer. Stephen Stills plays all of the lead guitars mostly, and all the electric lead guitars for sure, and a lot of the other. And he is a fabulous guitarist, as you'll hear. And he plays the keyboards and the bass on this album. So they use 2 session drummers. I'll mention that all of the session drumming is done by a drummer named Dallas Taylor. However, second song will play, Marrakesh Express, the first single off the album. It featured Jim Gordon. And when I looked him up, after it said 1960s session drummer, it said and convicted murderer. So I went to check that out, and a little further, just curious. And he killed his mother in 1983. He basically went, to use the old terminology, he went nuts. Cuckoo. I'm joking. In proper terminology, he suffered a psychotic episode, and as a result of, this is what it said, undiagnosed schizophrenia. So I guess he maybe was diagnosed after he was convicted. But anyway, stabbed and killed his mother. And just thought that was kind of interesting. So on that morbid note, let me get on to this fabulous album. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to mention about the guys. Just forget that ink. I have to keep, that's all I see is the goatee on Graham Nash when I look down there. Okay, starting off with Stephen Stills' opus. All right, but also I meant to mention they all write. So there's going to be songs written by each of them, one co-written by a couple of them. And they're all going to be featured because they all write well. But Stephen Stills is my favorite, and here is probably his opus of all the songs with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It's long. I think it's 7 minutes something, and maybe 6. Can't remember, but it has several pieces to it, and I'm going to spotlight each one of them. So it starts off with a great rocker, acoustic rocker, real catchy, and here we go. Oh, it's called Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. I believe it was written about Judy Collins, another singer from that time, and it's Sweet, S-U-I-T-E, like a sweet Judy Blue Eyes, not S-W-E-E-T. And then note how well the album sounds. I think, sounds like a record, but it doesn't sound terrible.
are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Remember what we said.
Okay, so love that opening. Stephen Stills on vocals, obviously all three of them harmonizing on the chorus and the background vocals. Love the guitar and bass, man. I mean, and that's Stephen Stills on both of those, just kicking it there. Okay, we're going to move it on a little further here. Sorry. Where he kicks into a guitar solo and a bridge comes up. Changes tempo here. Very cool. And melody.
Sunday in the afternoon. What have you got to lose? Tuesday morning. Please be gone, I'm tired of you. What have you got to lose? Cannot tell me like it is. Listen to me, baby. It's my heart that's a song that's a die. That's what I have to do.
Wow, I love that bass heavy intersection there. I'm sorry, I said guitar solo. That's in a different song around the same spot. But love that, and love the way his vocals come in and the way he sings them there, just emphatically. Okay, a little bit further. I think you're going to hear some guitar work here. Into another portion, a little different sound.
What have you got to lose?
I'm picking really good guitar picking here.
Chestnut brown canary, you beat your taste sparrow. Sing the song, don't be long, thrill me to the marrow.
Love the way that bass comes in there, those harmonies, a kind of a third section of the song. And just when you think you hadn't got anything different in this song, listen to this that comes in near the end. You'll know it right off. You've heard it a million times. Wow, it fades on, you know, with that. What a classic song, classic rock staple. One of the great songs of the late 1960s, absolutely. Okay, now this song is one of the songs that was too rockin' for, it's not that rockin', but it was too rockin' for the Hollies, and they didn't want to record it. He held it, Graham Nash, and recorded it with Crosby, Stills and Nash. It was the first single off of here. I love it. It's very catchy. It's called Marrakesh Express. It's short, too.
Looking at the world through the sunset in your eyes, turning the train through clear Moroccan skies, birds and pigs and chickens call, animal carpet walk.
song, and that bridge is right in between. I wanted to get through that. It's really cool. Obviously, that was a different vocal. Graham Nash, his beautiful tenor voice. The only two songs I'm going to play off of side one, in the interest of time, and the third song is David Crosby written and singing, so it kind of goes Stills, Nash, Crosby, then Stills again, and they're good songs, but not like these to me, not as good, but very enjoyable. The whole album is great. It's Guinevere, David Crosby, You Don't Have to Cry, Stephen Stills, Pre-Road Downs by Graham Nash ends it. And on that song, I believe, is the one Mama Cass Elliott sings background vocals on. It's the only other guest musician on here besides those drummers, I think. Okay, this is another mini opus that you'll know. You've heard it probably on, because it is kind of become a classic rock standard. It's played a good bit. You may not know it by name, but you will when you hear the chorus. Wooden Ships starts really cool, and it has a jazzy guitar in it, and then a great kind of blues guitar rocking solo. It shifts between a jazzier flowing sound and then a little bit of a rocking. You'll hear it. Just a little bit. I forgot to mention a couple things. This one's written by Stephen Stills and David Crosby, and they both sing some lead vocals on it. And I said it started with a jazz guitar. Well, actually, it started with a blues rocking guitar at the very beginning, which I love, and eased into that jazzier sound. And it's going to go back and forth a couple times in the song. The chorus is more rocking. In fact, the chords and the notes from the chorus are what open the song. And we'll get to that. I'll let you hear a little of the end of the second verse and then where the chorus comes in.
Yes, I've been waiting there for 6 or 7 weeks now. Never got sick once. Thought Mickey was a butterfly. Wooden ships on the water, very free and easy. You know the way it's supposed to be. Silver on the shoreline, let us be. Talking about very free and easy.
I hate to interrupt it, but that's quite a long solo that goes on, that jazzier sounding solo. Love the rocking guitar that comes in on that chorus right before they say wooden ships. Now, I just want to go forward a little to the, let's see, where was it?
All the princesses we want you guys. All we can do is always cry. Sterilize all human feelings die. We are leaving. You don't need us.
He starts going to town here. Just I've got to move on now, but just want to point out on a couple of these songs, few of these songs, Stephen Stills is playing all the instruments except drums. He probably could do that. He just had to have enough hands, basically. Okay, 2 more songs I'm going to spotlight quick. This is not really a kind of a deep cut, but when I heard it, I thought, oh, I've heard this before. It's great. Catchy little Stephen Stills song. Skipped over a Graham Nash song that, this is a Graham Nash beautiful slow song, but that was
Helplessly hoping her harlequin, others nearby, and waiting a word, gasping at glimpses of gentle true spirit, he runs, wishing he could fly, only to trip at the sound of goodbye. Wordlessly watching he.
gorgeous song, Helplessly Hoping, Stephen Stills. I don't know if you were familiar with that. All right, I'm going to leave with this last song, and this is the David Crosby song that I'll feature. He wrote this song, and it's one of their signature songs. You'll probably know it. Love this song. Long time gone.
It's been a long time coming. It's going to be a long time gone. And it appears to be a long, appears to be a long, appears to be a long time. It's a long, 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 long time before the dawn. Turn any corner.
Wow, and more great guitar work by Stephen Stills filling in there between the verses and chorus. Man, what a great album. Sorry it took so long to get to it. Actually, I kept thinking about doing it and kept going like, oh man, it's written on. I don't want to show that on Waxing with Wade. But then I thought, no, I'll proclaim it as one of my great bargain finds, like it was. It's all about how it sounds, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully in a couple weeks, I'll have another episode up of Waxing with Wade.